Welcome back to another episode of the Drake vs. Kendrick podcast. We're back again taking a retrospective look at the beef that was this year, and the beef that keeps on giving, because earlier this week, by the time we've recorded this episode anyway, we had Kendrick drop another track, one that's apparently not Drake specific. I've listened to it a couple of times. I'm joined, of course, by Ray, wearing the Lakers outfit, and Akram wearing the Celtics outfit. That was not by design. The beef is real between these two.
Rivals.
But yeah, I've been giving the track a few listens. Even on the way here, we were listening to it. And I guess Drake obviously is not mentioned, but did you feel like there's any energy towards Drake from what you guys have heard from the track? So the track is just posted on Instagram. It doesn't have a title. It's not on any streaming services. So, and yeah, the beat is a bit mellow. But yeah, what did you guys think?
No, I love the beat. It reminds me a bit of 616, as I was telling you. It's a nice, like, old school classical kind of melody and stuff like that. Even his rhyming, similar kind of pattern or cadence, I guess, if you want to call it. I don't think it was a Drake diss per se. A lot of people saying that it's not a Drake diss. Like, but he still is being dissed, I believe, in that song. Like, there's still like targets towards him, but it's not a whole track.
Yeah, we were talking that one part where he goes in about he goes in on rappers in general, but the type of rapper he's describing still fits.
He talks about insecure niggas, this, that, like that's just talking about Drake. He's as he has been this whole rap beef.
And it's obviously come on the back of the Super Bowl announcement as well. So I don't know if any of the energy Kendrick had was towards people even trying to come for whether he deserves this Super Bowl performance.
Yeah, it was to the industry. I think a lot of it, I think, was the main part of it. But yeah, Drake did get some strays. But ironic thing is, I dropped it on 9/11, so I dropped another bomb on the embassy that day.
Goddamn.
What did you think, Ray?
Look, let's be honest, man. The Hard Part 6 is now not officially the worst track of this whole beef. Like that's all I can say. Like I would rather listen to Meg Thee Stallion than listen to whatever that was. That was
What are you saying about Meg Thee Stallion, cuz?
Oh, her diss track to Nicki Minaj. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like as in like, cause that was, I don't know what the hell that was, bro. I listened to it like once and I was not moved whatsoever. Like not moved. I'm like, what is he talking about? Like what is he talking about? Like what? Like
look, it was vague.
Why is he going back to sneak dissing?
I don't know about sneak dissing. It was vague, but
I walked that man down. Blah blah blah. All this kind of stuff. Like it was clearly there was like elements at Drake, but it was like you said, like how you cut that last one down. That had no energy. That was flat as fuck, weak as hell. And it was like in the context of everything, it was like I don't know, bro. It was just completely whack, and I feel like he got forced into releasing that one. I don't know who by, maybe Jay-Z, but
we're not gonna dig up Hard Part 6's grave on this episode. We're gonna just
no. We've buried that. This is the new one we're burying. Yeah. Because it was weak as hell.
Take all the message, take all that. You don't like the way he raps on this song.
I mean, look, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, it's at the bottom of this whole song hierarchy, like by far.
Well, look, I still wouldn't even put this song into the beef series of songs.
He literally says he walks that man. I mean, he's still throwing shots at Drake. He just said it.
I feel like there's a couple shots at Drake in there.
Yeah. But how can you not include it then?
I don't think so, man. I still think it's vague enough that.
What? It's
not.
I agree with Salim. Like, it's not. He's taking shots at Drake, but you can't count it in that same catalog as diss songs directly to Drake.
Yeah, he's sneak dissing. He's going at the industry, and he's also going at like Drake, whatever. Like
he's going across. He's going.
Drake was fighting like on 20 fronts. You can fight on multiple fronts. Like,
Ray, let me ask a question. Have you not realized if Drake has all these enemies that he might actually be the problem?
No, why?
Can't talk to these Drake dick riders, man.
Why? They want to crush him because he's the biggest artist in the world, bro. It's weird, but you can't. He hasn't lost anyway, so like he's still putting out music and it's still fire. Atlanta's still messing with him. You know, people are still like throwing up. I support Drake. Kyrie saying he's with Drake. Like we literally did not like lose any sleep.
Well, that drop right there, I was surprised by, man. I thought Kendrick, especially.
So
after the
what do you
Super
reckon?
Bowl
What do
ad
you reckon
when
of
he
that
said-
theory though? The theory that people are saying it was a Jay-Z forcing to like try and
Nah.
move to because he was getting backlash for putting Wayne not putting Wayne on.
I can't even respond to that, Ray. That's how far-fetched it sounds to me.
what
Jay-Z
way?
pushing Kendrick to kind of take the limelight.
Mm.
I don't think so.
Don't you think they've always had beef though?
Jay-Z and
Drake, yeah.
I just don't think Jay-Z would have had any.
He's got
hand
nothing
in-
to do with it.
in Kendrick releasing this.
Yeah,
No.
he moves a bit too ninja for you, but people
No,
who can see.
I think Jay-Z picking Kendrick with the momentum he has for the Super Bowl halftime show is definitely a bit of a dig at Drake, owing to their beef, Jay-Z and Drake's beef. But to suggest Jay-Z is pushing Kendrick to release, like, nah, bro, that's conspiratorial.
Kendrick ain't his lapdog,
So
man.
why is it so weak though?
What do you mean?
It's not directed at Drake though. It's not meant to be like.
So in the midst of this beef, he's just gonna step away.
It's not missed. He's done with it. Like, I think he's cleaned his hands with dissing Drake.
He's not done. He's not done.
Well, at least to the
Bro,
level that he was.
No round twos, right?
No round twos, and then he goes and sneak disses. What a soft ass motherfucker, man.
I don't know, man. I think Kendrick is trying to leave it behind him, but he loves putting his shit into his music. So he just said, you know what? Let me release this song to respond to all the shit I've been hearing.
Now, see, for me, the thing is, I reckon this does sound like a heart song, like the songs that he releases before his album, and it could be setting the tone for his upcoming album where he just airs out all his grievances, all the issues he has with the industry. Like, he mentions it multiple times, like, the industry's cooked. Like, I'm going to show you, he goes deeper and all that kind of stuff. And this could just be a lead up to him being like, this is what's wrong with the industry, and I'm going to spell it out for y'all. Maybe it's not directly at Drake, but Drake is part of the problem that he sees what's going on with the industry.
He's angry at the industry, yet he's going to play probably the most industry-based thing, the Super Bowl. Like,
I'm not mad at that take. Honestly, Ray, I'm not mad at that take because there is a level of like industry, obviously, riding with Kendrick as well. He's not some like anti-industry.
Of course, but there's certain aspects. The thing is though, with the industry as a whole, like, he's probably picking out parts that he doesn't like, and there's probably parts that he does benefit him and he does like. You know what I mean? He is part of that industry himself. It'd be a bit hypocritical to call it all out. But I think he's gonna start nitpicking and saying, "This is the shit I don't like. This is the fake shit. This is that. This is this," and we'll see what the new album comes out.
this guy's at like all the Met Galas. He's all these like awards shows, all this kind of stuff. Like, he's the most industry person out there, bro. He's wearing like. He's wearing heels. He's wearing heels and shit like that. Like, bro, he's his industry.
What's your point? What's your point?
I'm saying, bro, he's not living what he's preaching.
To be fair, yeah, I guess Kendrick kind of preaches that a bit more. Drake doesn't really. I think Drake maybe even like warms up to it. Aside from sometimes saying that people in the industry don't like him, he's content with being part of the machine, Drake.
Yeah, but what's this guy expect Kendrick to do? Move out to Wyoming and do a Kanye kind of thing? Like, he's part of the industry. He wants to produce music and make music. He's gonna have to play ball somewhat.
Yeah, nah, he can say whatever he wants, but we're gonna call it hypocritical. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like,
Well, keeping it moving, man. I thought we were going to be real quick on that topic, man. This episode, hopefully, is just going to be short and sweet. A lot of the episodes we've done, we didn't think it was going to go to the time that it went to. This episode, we're hoping to just kind of tackle, because we finished all the songs. And aside from like the little updates we've done in the last couple of episodes, nothing has really popped off specifically with the beef. But this is looking like the second last episode. So in this episode, we just want to kind of talk about all the peripheral stuff that happened in regards to the beef. So some of the other shit that popped off. The J. Cole thing, for instance. We'll talk about Rick Ross a little bit, Kanye a little bit, influences, and some of the other stuff that played a factor outside of purely Kendrick and Drake in this beef. So where did you guys want to start it off with? I got J. Cole at the top of my list.
I was gonna say, I think that's the place
And I
to
know
start it.
yeah. Surely we're gonna go to J. Cole.
And we touched on it already in earlier episodes, so we don't want to kind of beat on a dead horse. And I never shy away from bringing his name up. I put my hand up. But in hindsight, how do you think? In hindsight, what he did must be one of the better aging.
Depends what way you look at it, because it could be looked at. It was one of the weaker moves, right? And it's gonna be like when it was fight or flight. He fucking flew away. You know what I mean? Like, even though it saved him from, I don't know, I guess getting insulted at a world stage, he never got the opportunity to battle back and like defend himself, you know, because there's a timeline where J. Cole murked K-Dot. He came back and they went bar for bar. I don't know. There's a timeline out there where it possibly happened because he calls himself Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? Like, so we never got to see it. So I don't know, man. I mean, it personally hasn't moved him for me. Like, he's still one of my, like, top 3, top 5 for me, like, favorite.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't moved him outside because of his soft ass move. He's still my top 5, top 3, easy.
Yeah. All right. So for music he's released prior, obviously he's released that music holds whatever it holds in your life. But can you listen to him talking his like braggy raps the same again and not have that in the back of your mind that when it came to it, you still backed out of the beef?
Yeah,
you get what I mean?
Nah, look, at first I couldn't, but as time goes on, like you kind of realize, like, hey, like it was just an industry play to shut down Drake, so it wouldn't have been a fair fight as it is anyway. So for him, I think he did the right thing. Whatever, like it was, you know what I mean? Like it was meant to be the takedown Drake show, regardless of what happened. So. When you look at the bigger picture, for me, it doesn't. But at the time, especially when he apologized on stage, there was we were in dark places. He was starting to move out of people's top 5, top 10s. Like, he was sliding.
I mean, you lose a lot of credibility saying shit like that.
He was sliding quick.
I remember a friend of mine telling me that a friend of his who was a J. Cole fan, when he heard the news, he was so kind of distraught by it. He was like, man, this guy was like my hero. I don't know how to take this.
It's a tough pill to
He
swallow.
was breaking people's
Nah,
spirits.
bro, he was moving out of people's top 5 so quick. It was like, what is this? And then he obviously like pulled the 7-minute drill as well. Like he could have just left it out because he released it on that album and then he removed it off that. Like
not without leaving it until the end of the first week sales period was up. Which is also another weird thing. Like he didn't take it down right away. It was like, I'm gonna take it down in a few days. There's a lot going on with how J. Cole was moving at that time. It wasn't like, definitely wasn't his best role.
I'm fairly neutral in regards to J. Cole. Don't hate him, don't love him. Like literally on the fence. But hindsight is 2020, as they say. Like looking at how all played out, this battle didn't really involve him. You know what I mean? It would have been a weird dynamic if he was probably still in it. For me, it depends on if he was given information, like they said, Schoolboy said to him, look, this is not a battle involving you. You need to step out. He probably did the right thing by doing so. And if he wasn't given that message, then yeah, you could probably see it as a bit of a weak move. For me, the way he apologized at the Dreamville Festival, like in his home state, like, yeah, just it's hard to look at him the same. Like you said, can't go around rapping saying like, I'm the Muhammad Ali, this, that, big 3. That's dead from his lines.
But it's so interesting how the beef would have played out had there been two, obviously, like if K-Dot had to go at Drake and at J. Cole, you know what I mean? Because they would have taken out half of his verses, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
I think I would have been funner, I reckon.
Yeah, of course it would have been. It would have been like in any way more fair than anything.
From a Kendrick standpoint, though, how do you have a battle with someone who you despise and then someone who you're like friendly banter with? You know what I mean? It's two different.
Yeah, but no, he would have to put on that same energy. There's no way he's gonna like be light rap.
I don't think he could fake that same hatred for J. Cole that he was putting out for Drake.
Well, K-Dot is a liar. He can lie. Like, what do you mean? All he did was lie through his rap, so he can lie. Like, what do you mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. What?
Yeah. Oh, well, we said from the start, from episode 1, we said all this shit is probably not factual. You know what I mean? It's just all in the rap 100%. Game. But
no,
he couldn't say. He literally said, Drake, like, I hope you die. You know what I mean? How's he gonna match that when he then goes against J. Cole?
No, and then he would go on and say that he doesn't have a hating bone in his body. Like, come on, man. Like, it's all wishy washy stuff. But no, it would have been really interesting how it would have been like if TDE maybe would have got involved, because obviously it would have been 2v1, and they might have been like, oh, our little man's getting ganged up on, you know what I mean? Maybe TDE could, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the fact that it did give us just Kendrick and Drake, I think I mentioned it in another episode. I found that was great, man. Just they became the focal point, and because like the hatred was there and it was like deep rooted or whatever.
But I mean, everybody else was throwing shots at Drake though. Like Rick Ross released the song like ASAP Weekend, like people, Future, Metro, there was a lot.
They don't like that nigga.
I know, but I'm just saying that it was more than Kendrick versus Drake. I'm just calling that out. I'm not saying it's like not fair or anything like that. I'm just making sure. Yeah. Like he was fighting on all fronts.
To be honest, J. Cole had his chance to battle Kendrick back when Control went out. You know what I mean? When he called you out then, you should have said something.
Yeah, and then he did the TKO verse, which was pretty much the first thing after that, I think. He's like, when everybody sent me the Control.
I didn't even know that track. I'd never heard of that track.
Yeah, no,
before.
he's like, something like, his mum is calling me, yeah, like, the Control, like, what am I going to do? Or something like that. But he just, like, he steps around it. Doesn't really, who was it? Big Sean?
It was on a Big Sean track.
No, but who replied first, wasn't it? Wasn't it Big Sean?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think Big Sean ever really replied to it. Just in interviews, he mentioned it. I guess another person who responded earlier on to Drake anyway was Rick Ross as well. And his track, I can't say I cared for too much other than what happened a bit further down the line when they were over in Canada and they got run up on.
To be honest, I think that Rick Ross verse or song, whatever, just gave Drake more ammo. You know what I mean? To come back at them in the Family Matters.
Yeah, you got Rick Ross across all the tracks got a nice 30 seconds, 40 seconds. For him. He got some screen time. But yeah, I don't think he was much of a factor in all of this. By the time, especially after Kendrick dropped, he just was like in the periphery.
He was a B category, like a B.
Yeah. Nobody was paying attention whatsoever. I think the only thing that he did was obviously that picture of Drake, like a picture of white Drake. That was pretty funny. Like that was funny.
Him calling him white boy at the end of the track, repeatedly as well. I thought was just.
It's got a nice ring to it.
Got a nice ring to it. Is that what Drake said in the response?
Something about the whole club when it sings to it.
But they caught up to that boy, hey. Wee.
Yeah, no, you
can't
watch
watch the video,
Yeah, you can't be going around in Canada, bro. Come on, man. Just talking shit like that to the six guy, bro. Come on now.
To be fair, I got to give it up to the Canadians that stood up for Drake. Like, they stood on business. They weren't going to let him play. He tried to play Not Like Us.
He played it at some music festival.
They
ran up on him because the video shows him saying, you're not playing that here or something. I didn't know they got down like that.
Yeah, fair play to him, man. Like,
nah, for sure, man. The streets got Drizzy's back, man.
That, to be honest, it was a bit redeeming for Drake, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at that point, obviously, Not Like Us has just crushed everything. And Drake had nothing really but Canada, wherever it was, Montreal, standing up for him.
10 toes down.
A little bit.
10 toes down. Come on, man.
I'm pretty sure Drake shout out
all the Crodies.
Hot Part 6. He says, my Montreal people stand up, not fall down. So
Yeah.
Did he?
Yeah, in Hot Part 6.
Yeah.
So that, I guess, ties into them standing up for him.
You got shooters out there. And they did the Schoolboy Q show in Toronto, I think, got shut down. It got cancelled.
I don't know how much
because of the threat of violence, though. That was more the police were just concerned.
Yeah. I don't think Drake called like the show. He was like, get him out of here. I don't think it was like that.
Yeah. But still, Toronto doing it, the whatever the threat of violence was enough for the police to be like, no, we don't want
I mean, north of the border is hostile territory for these Canadians right now. That being said, if Drake tried to do a show in Oakland, you know what I mean? I'm pretty sure that'd get called off as well. Same thing.
I'm pretty sure that would not happen.
You don't think?
No, not at all. No. Drake is he's too big for that, bro.
Yeah, but I think there's many niggas in Oakland that would love to have their shot at him. Especially right now, after the whole...
Money talks, man.
Money talks. I don't not at all. He's... not at all, bro.
Drake's not untouchable. Don't think he's some kind of... He called himself the 6'9" guy, but don't get it convinced.
He's money talks, bro. Like, you know what I mean?
We saw that Drake can get touched. His house got shut up, didn't it?
Yeah, that was a weird time too. Hey,
after Kendrick put up his address on the
doxed him nicely, and then it was like a few days after, shots at Drake's house, all this kind of stuff, which is, I guess, like we said, episode 1. It's not what we want to see, but it shows that you can't be running your mouth or you can be touched.
So is Kendrick? Is he running a mafia now? Is he?
Kendrick has nothing to do with it. He's it's all hypotheticals, alleged.
The what is it? The activist is out here asking for people to get killed. Is he?
He said no such thing. He said he wants to be friendly fade.
This black violence is causing black violence. Okay, that's interesting.
What did Malcolm X say? Praise the Lord, pass the ammunition. No, to be honest, I think at the end it just ended up being like, an estranged, like a weird fan or like some kind of fan with some mental health issues, wasn't it? That ended up doing the shooting. I don't think it was anything related to anything serious.
I don't think it was.
I think it was just the cooked person. Like you
said,
said, saw the address was there and
lived.
thought, fuck it. But the last of the rappers to respond, last and least, Mr. Kanye West. Do you remember that?
Well, he did the
Like That remix.
I got you.
Yeah.
Hey, that Like That remix though with the choir, that was fire. Like he knows how
I
to
don't
produce.
even know
a
how
beat.
much that slapped.
Huh?
I thought the original slapped way too hard for that to catch on.
The original was great, but don't get me wrong. But like the way he mixed it up, doing it with like a choir, I thought that was crazy. Like Kanye doing what he does on that production level was top level, man. I rate it. What he was saying was nonsense.
Kanye inserting himself into this beef, obviously being such a Kanye thing, but also showing at this point, I think nobody cared, bro. Like his irrelevancy or lack of relevance, bro, is really, I don't know, man. I think that's it. Like his relevance has really tapered off. Then Vultures obviously happened, and that didn't like cause much of a stir.
Vultures 1 was decent. Vultures 2 was one of the worst things in a long time from Kanye, unfortunately.
He's had a rough, man. And to be honest, that track, and it just came and went. It did nothing. I think everyone took it as a joke.
Yeah.
I honestly heard it like
Kanye
once.
think
I'm
he's
pretty
getting
sure I
involved.
only listened to it and I was like, what the hell is this? Like, this is, yeah. Like, I don't think I'll ever play that track. I don't even know what the name is. What is it? Like That
I think it
remix.
was Like That remix, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing did not move anyone.
Came and flipping went, man. I just wanted to touch on that because
But
Kanye.
ASAP was, sorry, I thought you were going to go to the next one.
No, I was just gonna say just Kanye losing relevance right in front of our eyes sometimes is always something to me that I never thought would happen. Like, at the height of his popularity, obviously, then to see where he's at now.
What was his beef? Was his beef that Drake fucked Kim Kardashian at one stage or something? Was it like, is that why he's angry at Drake?
Him and Drake been going.
Yeah.
No, but they
for
did the
long.
concert together. Remember, they did the concert together.
They
did
did.
the like at the Coliseum or something like that. Is it no in Atlanta? I think there was is it the Mercedes Dome?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. But so they did that. But I'm like, because they've always had like little bits. I feel like it was because of Kim K. Like I think Drake smashed.
It's the bipolar and Kanye. Like he fights with someone, then he's best friends again, then they'll fight again, and he's best friends. I think now, as it stands, he's good with Drake again. Like they've made up, whatever it is. Like it just doesn't make sense. The only thing that Kanye did bring up with relevance was the Lucian Grange. Like I said last time, that had somewhat like relevance to the whole beef. Other than that, it was just waffle, man.
Yeah, what was that breakdown again?
How when Drake said, "Show me your splits, I'll show you mine," and then he talks about Lucian Grange, the UMG, Universal Music Group. Yeah, pretty much how the boss, like, he takes all your funds.
Okay,
don't act
right.
like you don't have your own splits kind of thing.
Okay.
Which brought some relevance. And then since then, Drake didn't bring up that money line no more. So I think that's the only thing that stuck. But yeah, other than that, kind of just should have stayed out of it. Love you, man. You did college dropout, but stay out of it.
Yeah. No, I don't think. Yeah, and nobody's ever going to remember that Kanye was part of this. Like he's so relevant that Drake didn't diss him on Family Matters, like, and that's when he was popping off at everybody.
Yeah, bro. I didn't even actually register that.
He didn't even say shit about him. He's like, you're so irrelevant.
He didn't come up at all.
He didn't come up at all. And that was when he was murking everybody. Like everybody got this 1-2 piece.
Yeah.
Not even a
it's
whisper
really
of his name. Like, yeah.
Yeah, he's hit that status of like just the blabbling uncle.
Just ignore him and they'll go away kind of thing.
Yeah. I reckon ASAP got it. ASAP got it the harshest on
Family Matters.
like apart from obviously K-Dot, but yeah, I feel like ASAP got it.
Yeah.
Like the lines that he was mentioning was just like precise like jabs, like just shut down your whole operation. Like we don't give a damn. Like get out of here, little boy.
That was different angles as well. He came from and all just
Yeah.
like I said, just clean shots.
just every single one
bang.
was clean. Do the math. Who was hitting your baby mama? Come on,
Say
man.
that's like not fair. Why do you bring up? Because I've got like things that like ASAP. They're like, why do you bring him up for? I was like, he should not open up his mouth. Like, why do you have to mention?
And something about
baby mama?
his head getting split again or something like that because he didn't get beat up.
ASAP.
Yeah. You're gonna get your head split again. Yeah.
Probably gonna have a kid again before I talk about your shit again. That was mean.
Every single, but I felt like he had some bad energy for ASAP.
I reckon that was worse than anything he said in Kendrick, to be honest.
Nah, come on.
That was the hardest hitting lines for me in that whole Drake line.
Yeah, they were a bit.
Were mean.
I was like, wow, geez, okay.
Do the math who I was hitting then. Come on, it came from every angle.
What is it? If they're talking about you, they're talking about your fit again or something like that.
Probably should have rapped because your shit is mid.
This shit is mid. Everything he got the cleanest hits. Like it was beautiful.
Like I said, they were clean. Like it was no wasted energy on it.
Yeah.
It was just each line was just a bop.
I mean, I would say Rocky shouldn't have done the diss on the Metro Boomin album, but I guess Drake was dropping enough subbies through his own songs that Rocky felt like he had to say something.
Yeah.
But it was fair game once Rocky inserted himself in it. It's tough for Rocky out here right now,
bro. It's bad.
Have any of those people come back again at Drake since Family Matters? I don't recall any of the people that he listed. He went through a whole long list. I don't think any of them have.
No, Drake. ASAP, because he just released a song. He kind of does have a little bit of a. It was weak as hell. I can't even remember it. But he said, is it on that Taylor Swift song, that new song that he released? I think he says something about Drake, but it's mid. Yeah. It's mid again, as expected.
And then he's proved his point there.
Yeah.
Shout out Rocky, man.
Yeah. Now he copped a big L. He took a big L.
I wanted to ask is, with this beef and how popular it was and the role of the influencers, do you think that, so when we're saying influencers, we're talking academics, all of them, Joe Budden, what's that brother's name, Kai Cenat, Artist SeaWorld got in the mix with their skits, No Life Shack, Jay Black. Shout out a lot of these guys that were putting out some funny quality content. Do you think that at all kind of shaped the direction of the beef, or do you think the momentum of the beef was on its own and it was just more media talking about it? I was just thinking how that right now, currently, how that kind of played out compared to maybe 10, 15 years ago when you didn't have people with easy access to the internet with big followings. Did they play a role in how like the general public might have been receiving some of the music?
Sure, 100%, man. There's a big, definitely from the beginning, there's a big they want to take Drake down, you know what I mean? So
come on, Ray.
So he was getting
right away.
Yeah, that was the narrative.
DJ Academics, even though he might be declining in popularity, he was obviously riding for.
He was pro Drake, but I mean, like,
and I feel like the rest would have been neutral, if anything. I don't think.
But the good thing is, I think after the fact now, you see them go back and just like people saying that Family Matters is the best song. Like Drake was actually rapping. Like at the time, the tidal wave was just so big that it took everybody, and it's in retrospect now that people are going through and they're like, yeah, Family Matters actually bangs. Like, we just didn't listen to it because the cool thing to do was to shit on Drake at that time. But now you go back and you're like, yo, this motherfucker's spitting bars. Like, it's pretty impressive. I don't know. That's just what I felt. Like, that's just the way. Yeah, for sure. Like, there was not many people, like, breaking it down positively from like Drake. You know what I mean? Like, it was definitely all like K dot, K dot, K dot, K dot. Which is fine because that's the momentum it was at the time. Like that's what it is. Like when it's the fastest rising song, it's hard to go against it. You know what I mean? Like when it's like the most popular song. Like
so do you think that would have just been adding fuel to the fire? Because like you said, that song, even the way that it was dropped, if we're talking about Meet the Grahams after Family Matters, even the way that it was dropped 20, 30 minutes after, which is again thanks to the current times we're in with the internet and how quickly you can upload. I guess what I'm trying to still get at is, do you think the influencers though actually was there much that they contributed to how the beef was being received? Are they just
not
just
heaps,
more media talking about
it? I don't think heaps. Like I think it just pushed the same. Like not heaps. I don't think like it it significantly moved it. Like it was already going in Kendrick ways. So, but I don't think it like, you know what I mean? Like it didn't really.
But I guess maybe that it kind of stamped that was what was going on.
Yeah,
And you see all these influences kind of
it's stamped. Yeah, definitely
regurgitating
stamped
that
it.
same.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say it definitely more stamped it than moved it in a significant way.
Yeah.
But even with all the influences, I don't think they made a wave in all that sense, but they were riding the wave of this battle. Like we said, it was two of the biggest rappers of our generation sort of going to head. They weren't really adding to it, but they were creating like a secondary wave behind, like with the hype and like you said, the reviews and the lyrics breakdown and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think they were doing anything new. It would have happened the way it was happening regardless. But the difference is that we're getting a live, and this is not just the main instruments that you mentioned, but just all these other YouTubers that were doing all these song reviews and all shit like that.
Yeah.
It was a live view of what the people were feeling at the time. You know what I mean? We got glimpses of what most people or most, I guess, music heads were feeling at the time as this beef was happening live, which you wouldn't have got back in the day when it was radio or all that kind of stuff. So
yeah,
it was a good insight into all that kind of stuff. And like I said, these streamers, they've got hours and hours to break shit down. So you're able to discuss a topic to no ends, really, whereas that's probably not possible back in the day.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what's crazy, though. I heard there's a couple of people who were like pro Drake, and they were breaking down some of K-Dot's song, and their like YouTube channels got shut down. So, I mean, that is like something worth in itself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why who can make those kind of moves happen, but it's, you know, it's worth calling out. Like, people who are saying, showing the pro, you know what I mean? Like,
so the pro Kendrick people were getting shut down?
Huh?
Or the pro Drakes were getting shut down?
So the people who were basically calling out K-Dot for all his lies and stuff like that.
Their shit got shut down.
Yeah, their YouTube channels.
Never heard that.
Just heard it through the grapevine, huh, Ray?
No, there's a couple of big ones that came through, but I think he just got his back. So he's the guy that does all the breakdowns. And he I don't know what he did. He broke down Meet the Grams, and yeah, they shut his shit down. Jay-Z didn't like that shit.
It's also the first, I think this is, I don't know if you guys agree, this is like the first big rap battle or beef that's in this day and age where like people are able to react live.
Yeah.
And what was it? While Academics was reviewing Family Matters, Meet the Grahams drops, you know what I mean? Like you wouldn't have had that real-time response ever before. So it was cool to see shit like that. We'll see how it goes, like how it's going to be different going forward, but we've never had that instant response.
Yeah.
I think it's the biggest rap beef of all time.
I agree.
I think it surpassed Jay-Z and Nas.
Yeah, I don't know. I would have thought Biggie and Pac might have been the biggest.
But
I think this one would be.
Biggie and Pac wasn't as easily accessible, I think, as this rap beef was.
Yeah.
Like anyone could just get onto it. And even if you didn't actively look for it, it was being fed to you through your social medias and all that kind of stuff. So many people who don't know the origins of this rap beef were aware of it.
But I think when I mean like the Jay-Z and Nas, that's where they actually like had lyrical battles at each other. Whereas like the Pac and Big just became like East and West. Like it became bigger than music. It became like a coastal thing. Whereas like the Jay-Z and Nas was still
Strictly
lyrical.
keeping it music.
Yeah, they were still, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
that's why I don't write that. I don't think like, I think even though Hit 'Em Up is like easy top 5 diss songs, but it just became so much bigger and it just got bigger than rap.
Yeah.
Whereas I think that Jay-Z and Nas was pinnacle rap.
Yeah.
Like, Ether, that shit bangs to this day.
I think the number of eyes that were on this beef in real time is what kind of adds to how massive it was. And with the whole streamers and their influence, we're obviously a bit older, so I don't think it affects us as much. But I know a lot of the young guys, like, I don't know, maybe 25 and under, they're big on streamers. Like the way they follow streamers. I remember the first time some young dude asked me about whether I follow some stream. I was like, oh shit, like you guys actually do that? Like you sit down and watch someone live stream. I didn't know it was like such a big thing amongst the younger crowd. So I could see how perhaps why I was asking it initially was maybe the younger, more impressionable people, it might have affected the way they were viewing the beef. But yeah, I think in a way that the beef and the way Kendrick was releasing music was already kind of taking it in a certain momentum. But the influences maybe just kind of affirming what was going on.
I mean, like you pretty much put a bow tie on that.
Also, academics, man.
I
think the way he was getting fucked over in this beef, the way he was getting fucked over in this beef was a bit refreshing. And I'm not trying to hate on another man's success.
What do you mean? He's getting fucked over?
Huh?
Oh, getting called out on his bullshit.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
What did he say? He just said, I think even he's looking compromised, like that kind of stuff.
No, not from the disses. I just mean he was. I feel like whatever popularity he had that was already kind of, I think, waning was just kind of,
he's pro Drake.
What?
So you're crushing him because he's supporting Drake?
Just the way he moves, bro. Sometimes it's kind of funny, man.
Even then, like, how can you do like in this situation? We're here writing for our own artists. He's supposed to be doing things as a neutral. You know what I mean? But you can't be not a neutral, but you can't be doing reviews with that much bias.
Is he neutral though? But I think he's very not neutral.
He's not neutral.
Yeah, but he's not. I don't think he's pretending to be neutral. Like he's very pro Drake.
There's times
he's pro Drake.
There's times where he tries to act like he's gonna be impartial. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a bit impartial. I'm gonna try to do this fairly. But you can see what he's saying that makes zero sense. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he's gonna keep the K dot listeners listening. You know what I mean? Like.
That's the neutrals as well. Then,
but he's pro Drake. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like you can't say, oh yeah, like oh you're pro Drake, so you're trash.
No, I'm not mad at it, but I don't think there was times where there was streams where he was coming out saying like, I'm gonna try to do this like fairly, when he clearly wasn't being fair, and that's how you lose a lot of credibility, I reckon. As a presenter.
Well, I think he probably, because Kendrick probably doesn't like him, and he doesn't like Kendrick. So
no, he doesn't.
So that probably comes out. It comes out
compromise
in what they do.
Don't even try to come out then saying I'm going to see this with like fair eyes or new eyes. Just say straight up, I'm a Drake fan. I'm saying Drake.
He's dissected, he's dissected a lot of.
For instance, like Joe Budden, you can tell that he's more on the Kendrick side during this whole thing, but he was still giving Drake his props when he deserved it. He's still able to review things quite fairly. You know what I mean? But yeah, Ack didn't seem to do that at all.
I mean, he's pro Kendrick because Drake crushed him as well. Like he's a little bit salty.
No, that's fair.
He's another one that was on. He's been on Drake's hit list and got fucking taken
that's
down.
Fair though, but he was still giving Drake his flowers when he deserved it.
Yeah. Well, lastly, I just wanted to see you guys' thoughts on the whole bots thing.
Look, I don't know if this can be proven or not. I've heard Drake has been known to use bots, so then to flip the script and then try to say Kendrick's using bots.
Did not feel that at all, man. Drake fans are coming out saying whatever.
K-bots.
Come on.
K-bots.
Yeah,
there's no way Drake is not at the forefront. If there's any bots being used, it has to first and foremost be starting.
It has to be him.
Has to start.
It's
with
one
Drake.
of those things where it's like you accuse someone something that you're guilty of. You know what I mean? And that's why I purely feel like this whole botting thing comes from. Like he knows about it. He knows all the details, and he's trying to be like, oh yeah, you're using bots and all that kind of stuff. And even Kendrick calls it out in 616. You're playing nerdy with Zach B and Twitter bots.
616.
And then later on, the Drake fans try to be like, oh yeah, Kendrick's using bots. I don't know if it is. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. Like, there's no way to really verify that. But
yeah, but you can't.
I mean, I think you can because like, there's no way. This guy's been releasing music for a decade, and one song moves completely different to any of his other songs he's ever done.
But
this song had the whole world's eyes on him.
Yeah, but because it was pushed, like it was pushed. That's all.
Yeah, fair enough. Might have been pushed.
No,
but
it was. Yeah,
might have been promoted. Like you said, Spotify might have been making it come on your playlist more
often.
Oh,
the agenda was nasty. You could smell it. You could smell it.
Instagram.
Every time I play something else, like it would come back on. Like it was like a. It was like a bad smell.
To YouTube Music after?
Because I was like, I'm not gonna be brainwashed by these K-botters. I refuse to, and I stood my ground. I was like, no, they ain't doing this.
Let's just break this down. What do you mean by K-botters? Or when we say bots, are we talking about fake numbers, like 6 million views, whatever it is? Like those are fake numbers. Or are we talking about the fact that it's been like
it's being pushed? So yeah, it's being pushed.
I could say a lot of Drake's music has been pushed throughout his career by.
But all his music is equally like successful. You can't have been pushed for that long and not like. You know what I mean? Like he's been doing it for so long, bro. Like it's normal, bro. You can't. It's
but
not.
Drake's like that.
Like if he had one album which did like 3 billion and like all his other albums did like 100 million, then I'll be like, okay, yeah, he pushed on that one. But all his shit is uber successful, bro. Like
They're all being consistently pushed. I just feel like Drake was kind of like always in the background. He's gonna get his attention. He's gonna get his love or whatever. He's got his fan base. Whereas this one with Kendrick it's something different from Kendrick. It's a bop from Kendrick that we haven't heard before. And it was also at the time when everyone was watching. It was just a beautiful chess piece move by Kendrick. And I think, yeah, all the numbers, all the views.
Yeah.
Even just driving down the streets, the amount of times I heard Not Like Us play like in random people's cars, like that doesn't happen with other songs.
Yeah, it seems legit, man.
Yeah,
because you can actually hear it everywhere.
Nah,
you
there's
know,
no
on
way.
social
There's
media
no way
as well.
it's
You're
legit.
hearing it.
No, but I'm saying if it's getting pushed, like of course you're gonna hear it more often because it's probably gonna come up every second
Bro, it's
time.
like the
Yeah, but
chicken and
people
the
like
egg
it.
thing, though. Rates like, is it getting pushed because it's a good song? Or it's a big song.
That's what I
or is
thought
it a
it
It's
big
getting
song
pushed just because
getting pushed?
it's a Drake stimulus package. That's the reason why. If that song had not insulted Drake, nobody would be pushing it. Nobody would be listening. Nobody would give a fuck about
You know
it.
what? Probably is. A lot of people listening probably are here to see the downfall of Drake.
It's a hate watch party.
Yeah, I'm here for
And
it.
I guarantee you
Front
about
and center.
60% of people listening to it are just purely there for the hate watch. You know what I mean? So it got a very big bandwagon following.
That's neither here nor there, man. I don't think that's good.
No, but it's
Like,
it's,
I like-
but his none of his lyrics are like, you know, like it's not like it's not fire, bro. It's not fire. It's just cool because he's insulting Drake. He's calling Drake a pedo. That's really about it. That's what the attraction is.
I don't even think it's
because it
that.
ain't the Mustard beat, because Mustard just released an album and it flopped like trash. So it
Yeah,
ain't even about the Mustard beat.
But it's the timing of when
It's
was
literally
dropped as
because
well.
he's calling Drake a pedo.
But not even that. Think about the amount of people that are saying like this song just makes me want to crip walk when I hear it. You know what I mean? The whole West Coast anthem. It's bigger than just Drake, I think, at this point. And it was Kendrick just doing his victory lap after Meet the Grahams.
Can we crip walk if we're not from America? We're not being culture vultures?
Or we might be. We might be. Are we profiting off it? That's the definition of a culture vulture. If we're doing it for the love, then I'm all for it. If you're making money doing tutorials, yeah, this is how you crip. It's a different story, cuz.
Yeah, look, I think I heard the song enough and I've seen it enough in real life to not be like, oh, this is some kind of like by design push purely to have the song blow up.
It's on the same level as that Tommy Richmond song, bro. Same shit, bro. Same fucking shit.
But again, is that because a lot of people are listening to it and then they're like, give you more of what you want to hear? Or is it the other way around?
I don't know, bro. The Illuminati said just play the song. We want to make the song successful. Like, that's what it is. I don't know how that shit works. Like,
That's what I said.
there's
It's
no
not,
way
you know,
Tommy
we're not gonna
Richmond,
know.
bro, Tommy Richmond and this track were like the two most played tracks of the last 6 months. Are they like equally as good? Like that? No, not at all, right? But I'm saying that it's getting
Catchy, though.
pushed.
That
you know?
Tommy Richmond, I don't know who the hell this guy is, but it's a catchy motherfucking song.
But I'm saying it's getting played. So what I'm saying is that getting played doesn't necessarily
Look,
mean
I
it's
think what's it
something.
called? I think going back to social media and all that kind of stuff, TikTok is almost creating trends in music. One person, two people, three people make songs with a certain song on their TikTok, then 4, 5, 6 do it, and then becomes 10.
It was a TikToky song as well, not like us. It was very TikToky, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. It's suited to this whole short form media kind of thing. So that's then going to continue the algorithm, and it's a self-feeding cycle.
Yeah. If a song naturally gains popularity, I feel like you can't just point a finger at it and say, oh, this has been like pushed in a certain type of way. Like, it detracts from how good the song was, the way it was maybe released, the timing that it was released. Even if it's just like a stroke of luck with some hit songs, it's not, so long as it's not a concerted effort by the media or like the industry, whatever, to push this song. And I don't think that's what Not Like Us was. I think it's a song that caught on and caught on big and just went on fire.
That's another thing. Not Like Us was a massive song in Australia. I don't know about in the US, but it wasn't being played on the radio stations here. You know what I mean? So it's not being industry push like a lot of Drake songs are. This is more so the people looking for it and finding
I
it
don't
rather than
listen to the
getting
radio,
shoved
so I
down their
can't
throat.
verify that. But it wasn't getting played on the radio.
played
Nah,
on the radio.
bro,
Not a
not
single
out
song.
here.
Not in Australia. In the US,
That's a
probably,
good
yeah.
point
In
as
the US,
well.
Wasn't even like Triple J?
to be honest, it's been a while since I listened.
Well, I'm wondering where else would you hear it? Like, I don't
What
know.
I'm trying to say, mainstream media was not playing it. You're not hearing it at the supermarkets and all that kind of stuff. Whereas a lot of Drake songs, you can say they're industry push because
Well, like Family Matters was getting played.
Earlier Drake songs.
Of the beef.
Of the beef, I think
nothing
none of the
was getting
played in
beef.
Australia.
Yeah.
All that was, if you wanted to find it, you had to look for it. But algorithms and all that aside, can't tell whether it's botted or not. To be honest, I didn't care.
And if it's botted, we know Drake is in the mix as well.
Yeah.
But if it's not even botted though, the most important thing is that his biggest song is him talking about Drake. Like, that boy be living rent free, man. That stimulus package is sensational.
It's because he wrote his lyrics for the Pulitzer Prize.
Let's leave it actually right there. That's a perfect point to leave it on, because next week we're going to finally wrap it all up, give some final thoughts on all of this. But yeah, man, this one was just about getting some of the other extra bits and bobs around the beef out the way. Anything else, boys, you wanted to touch on?
I was going to ask you guys, since you guys like Future, you reckon him and Drake will ever work together again?
I definitely hope so.
I didn't like the way Drake let Future off the hook on Family Matters. The only line he really had was when he was talking about Metro Boomin, and he's like, he said Lil Wayne's a fucking lame. And I know he had to be an influence. So Lil Wayne is Metro Boomin. So saying he had to be an influence on Future to be on the Like That track. But he never disses Future. Like, Future made that decision to be on that track, do the hook.
He's
ride with Metro Boomin, and Drake is on like some. I still want to be friends with you in the future. Future, no pun intended. I don't want to diss you. You know, I still find you cool, man. Can we still be friends after all this is done? Nah, bro, ride.
Yeah, that sounds like a Drake kind of thing to do. Does it? What's it called? He mentions Pluto. Isn't that like Future's alias?
Yeah, Pluto. Yeah,
he mentions him like a little bit, but he doesn't go as hard for him anywhere as.
Yeah, well, he just says we never really been through it. And then he says, yeah, Lil Wayne's a fucking lame, so I know he had to be an influence.
But all Future said, he just says, "What, we still don't trust you." What was his most scathing line to Drake?
Fair enough, but if you're gonna bring him up, then bring him up. Like, if you're gonna draw him into the beef, draw him into the beef. He literally just let him off the hook. He just said, what did he say?
Yeah, he said they had the hose dripping and all that.
No, that was about 21 Savage.
Yeah.
Oh man, Drake was cooking at that point. but specifically about Future, I was like, that was weak, man. I didn't rate that by
you
Drake.
Reckon he's still living out an olive branch for Future to be like, all right,
I think so.
Oh yeah, no, because What a Time to Be Alive we need What a Time to Be Alive too. The people need it.
Run to Atlanta when you need it.
It's one of the greatest. It's one of the greatest albums you've ever heard, bro. It's fucking fantastic.
Personally, the reason I asked that is because I probably do see them getting together again in the future. Maybe not with any of the other people he was dissing, but I reckon him and Future probably will link up.
It's what it seemed like that Drake wanted to patch things up.
Yeah, because they make bangers, like, bro. They make bangers.
Future was all up in that album. You're getting dissed on every other track. And you're still looking at him like, oh, can we still be friends after this? I don't know. Something funny about that to me.
Soft as baby shit, man. I will call it that, though.
Yeah, appreciate yous. We'll be back next week. Last episode, so look out for that.
Let's go.
Appreciate it.
Unless it's a new diss
Melvin.
track.